Yo, what's up, fight fans? It's your boy TK, and welcome back to Pitch, Pit, and Punch. We all know why we're here. This Saturday is a massive one. The stage is set, the gloves are laced, and the countdown has begun. This Saturday night, under the bright lights of Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, two boxing titans will collide in what promises to be the most electrifying bout of the decade. Yes, it's Canelo Alvarez versus Terence "Bud" Crawford. A clash of champions, a battle for legacy. Let's get into it. Let's go! The main reason for the video is to help those who are undecided. I mean, myself, I cannot predict this fight at all. I love both fighters. I've been watching them very closely, and I don't necessarily dislike any of them. However, I do have my own favorites. But just to help those out who are undecided and just to paint the picture better for those who don't know their track record, I think this video will help a lot. So with that being said, let's look at each fighter's profile and let's break things down throughout the video. Starting off with the prize guy, the main reason why everyone wants to call his name out, Canelo Alvarez. Full name is Saul Alvarez Barragan. His nickname he's known as Canelo. He's from Mexico and he's 35 years old. In terms of height, he's 173 centimeters, which in boxing terms is 5'8", and in regards to his reach, it is 179 centimeters, which in boxing terms is 70.5 inches. Now, in regards to his stance, he prefers to fight orthodox, and when we look at his boxing record, it's very, very impressive. He's had, if we had to count it, it would be 67 fights. In 67 professional fights, that is, you're looking at 63 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. In that time, he's accumulated 39 knockouts. Now, when we look at his amateur career, which is what actually made him very, very popular, he's only had 46 fights in the amateur career, with 44 of those being wins and only 2 losses. And he's had 12 knockouts in that time. And let's not forget, people were ducking him as an amateur, which helped him to basically take the risk, which his coach actually did, to bump him up to professional. Now, when you look at the titles that Canelo Alvarez has won, he's currently a 4-division world champion. He's held the WBC champion, the WBA champion, he's been the IBF champion, and the WBO super middleweight champion. Then looking at his opponent in Terence "Bud" Crawford, full name Terence Allen Crawford, nickname he's known as Bud. He's representing America, and he's actually 2 years older than Canelo Alvarez. So he's 37 years old. And when you look at his height, exactly the same, 173 centimeters, which is 5'8". And in terms of his reach, it's actually longer at 188 centimeters, which is 74 inches. Crawford prefers to also, actually his stance is actually southpaw. And when you look at his professional record, he's had 41 fights, of which he has won all of them. So he has 0 losses. And he's accumulated 31 KOs in his professional career. When you look at his amateur career, he's had about actually 70 amateur fights, which is 58 wins and 12 losses. Now, he has, in terms of titles that he's held, he's the former undisputed champion at welterweight and light welterweight. Then we're going to break things down regarding strengths and weaknesses. Now, looking at Canelo Alvarez, starting with his strengths. His major strength is his power punching, where he has a signature punch that everyone knows, and he loves going for the body blows. Then his other strength is due to his rise and the competition that he's faced, very high level. So that means that he has vast experience in the boxing ring. And one thing he's really shown is his adaptability. He knows how to adapt his game plan according to his opponent. His weaknesses, I would say that he tends to start his fight slow, and that leads me to the second weakness, where looking at his age in terms of reflexes and his starting pace, it has shown in the last few fights. Then looking at Terence Crawford, his strengths, well, if you have the record that he has under professional fighting, it means that he's undefeated, and that's mainly due to his elite technical skill as well as his amazing boxing IQ. And one thing I love with regards to Terence Crawford, you'll see that one of his strengths is he switches stances, and I hope he actually showcases this against someone like Canelo. In terms of his weaknesses, I would definitely say that moving up 2 weight classes will definitely show the world your weaknesses. So one of the things is that he's unproven at 168 pounds, which is about 76 kilograms. And the other thing that leads me to look at it as a weakness is that we are uncertain about what his knockout power is at this higher weight. How will his increase in weight translate regarding the power punches and whether he has knockout power? Now, when we look at the records and achievements for both fighters, these guys are world class. And this is the reason why the boxing world is abuzz. Now, starting with Canelo Alvarez, let's remember that he's the first Mexican boxer to win world titles in 4 weight classes. And when you look at his overall achievements, he has 16 world titles across divisions. That's really, really impressive. Then we look at Terence Crawford, where for him, he's aiming to be the first male boxer ever to be undisputed in 3 weight classes. And this basically shows that both gentlemen are chasing legacy. As much as people like to talk about this being a money grab, they putting their reputations on the line. Now, in terms of summing this fight up, it's definitely the biggest fight in the last decade. And a lot of people are saying that, even the fighters themselves. They're saying that, listen, man, definitely took this fight because it's the biggest one in the last decade. As we know, boxing hasn't been as exciting as it once was. And we're seeing a lot of champions pick and choose their fights and duck the big, dangerous fights. So that has basically slowed down the love and the attention for boxing. So let's take a trip down memory lane just to remind people of the biggest fights in the last decade. Starting at 2015, obviously the standout has to be Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. This was a very long-awaited welterweight clash, and this shattered pay-per-view records and captivated the world. Currently, it is the #1 biggest gate in boxing history. Then we've got Anthony Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko in 2017. This was a heavyweight classic where Joshua stopped the legend Klitschko in dramatic fashion. And I'll post the picture of the knockout. This was definitely iconic. It trended everywhere, and it was one of those really, really big statements for Anthony Joshua. Then 2017, 2018, we had Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin, known as Triple G. I'd say the 1 and 2 fights were amazing. This was a two thriller middleweight battle, and a draw in the first, and then Canelo victorious in the rematch. Then 2018 to 2021, we've got the big guys, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. They did not only fight once or twice, but this was a trilogy. And I'll definitely sum it up by saying that it was a legendary series of heavyweight slugfests, cementing Fury's dominance. Then we've got Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. last year. Now, a lot of people building up to this fight were busy saying that Terence hasn't fought any big names. He hasn't fought any high caliber fighters. That's why he's cruising through his weight classes. This was the first big name that, well, not necessarily the first, but definitely the biggest name he had fought, which basically put him up on the pedestal to allow people to take him seriously and be like, okay, this guy could actually be pound for pound, and it put him in the discussion. And hence the reason why Canelo even raised his eyebrow a little bit, and it piqued his interest to be like, okay, maybe I could actually fight this guy. So yeah, the Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. fight was definitely a battle of undefeated champions, and they were both fighting for the undisputed welterweight glory. And of course, we're here today. Terence is the one with the 41-0 record. So Bud delivered in style, and he really dominated that fight. Then last year again, we had the heavyweight boys, Usyk versus Tyson Fury. Now, this was years in the making. And as we know, Usyk dethroned Fury to become the first undisputed heavyweight champion in decades. Now, that's an amazing list, and tracking with this fight so far, looking at how people are actually buying the pay-per-views or basically paying interest into this fight, I definitely have to say that this will definitely be top 3 in the history of boxing. Now, just to summarize, looking at the fight analysis, let's remember that this fight isn't just about the belts. It's about legacy. Now, we're going to see Canelo's power and experience versus Crawford's skill and undefeated aura. The question is, can Crawford's speed and boxing IQ overcome the size, strength, and experience of Canelo at super middleweight? Now, obviously, when it comes to size, Canelo has always, majority of his career, fought at a higher weight than Crawford, and he will be more used to or more acclimatized to this fight, in the sense where we've seen what he can produce at this weight class. We've seen his power, and we've seen his resilience regarding taking punches. Now, will Crawford be able to adapt to his new size, and will he still have the same speed? And using his boxing IQ, will he be able to outsmart Canelo and actually get out victorious? Now, just wrapping up, Saturday night will be a night where history will be made. My question to you is, will Canelo Alvarez defend his undisputed crown, or will Terence Bud Crawford etch his name at the first triple weight undisputed champion in boxing history? Either way, this is one for the ages. Now, please don't forget to hit subscribe, smash that like button, and drop your predictions in the comments, just showing me who you pick and why. I will be posting a poll later, so you guys can definitely interact there. And let's get the debate rolling, guys, because fight night is almost here. I know in South Africa we're going to be waking up around 3 a.m. just to watch the undercards. And if you want to watch the main fight, maybe that will start around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. But I'm definitely going to be up at 3 just to really get into the build up. And yeah, let's see what happens, guys. Anyways, that's it for now. I hope I helped you guys make your decision a little bit easier with the stats. But have an awesome night, and I'll see you guys on fight night.